Hello again, my darlings. It's time for another story from our very special storybook, Adventures in Real Estate. And oh my, is this ever a good one? So hang on. Once upon a time, there was a family with two kind, loving, and very busy parents, Liza and Annie, who had three great and also very busy children, plus two rambunctious dogs and a crazy little kitty who seemed to have springs for legs and loved surprise pouncing on the two dogs. But that's another story altogether. Although, actually, according to the two grown-ups in the household, everyone seemed a little too darn pouncy from time to time, and now that Liza and Annie were both working from home, well, their cute little house started to feel like it was actually shrinking, getting smaller by the minute. You know, both moms used to work in office buildings, and the kiddos, well, they would go to school and then go to after school care, which they loved because they got to play with all their friends. And then they all got to spend these great evenings together and wonderful weekends together. They had wonderful family meals, and sometimes they'd have a movie night or a game night, or they just played a whole lot, both inside the house and outside the house. So back then, their cute little house felt almost just right. But not anymore. Gosh darn pandemic. It changed everything. And this family, well, they were feeling it. And not in a good way. Maybe if everyone would just get their vaccinations, the story lady can dream. But again, I digress. But as we all know, life happens, and change sometimes happens, bam, right out of the blue. And this darling family knew that because of all this change, plus deciding they kind of really liked working from home and might just keep it that way, well, something else had to change. You know, after all, closeness can be a beautiful thing, but too much closeness, too much of the time, well, not so much. So, you know what happened? The kids started fighting, the dogs and the cats started fighting, and sometimes even the parents started fighting because they just felt like they were always on top of each other all the time. And then one day they met a knowledgeable and caring guide called a realtor, who helped them see that by selling their cute little house and buying a significantly bigger house in a slightly different, less dense neighborhood where they could afford a bigger house. They could each have their own rooms and two separate offices, plus a really big kids' playroom where they could fit all their toys, and the kids thought maybe get even some more toys. Plus, they would have an even bigger yard, and there was even a huge and gorgeous park right down the street. Their guide, who by now had become a good friend, also told them about some really special brand new mortgage programs that would allow them to purchase their new home without having to sell their current home first, making it possible for them to actually compete in a hot seller's market that had multiple offers and actually get the house they really wanted. So they moved into a new home that they all loved and sold their little house right after that in no time and for a really great price, because after all, it was still a hot seller's market and they got multiple offers. And then they all lived happily ever after. So that's the end of our story for today, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until next time, this is Stacy the Story Lady, wishing you all happy homes with room enough to grow.